Hello and welcome to the Cyclops Getting Started tutorial. Cyclops is the most advanced filmmaking AR app in the world. Cyclops allows anyone with an iOS device to quickly and easily visualize VFX elements from creatures to set extensions in context while on set or on a scout. This video will help you get up and running quickly so that you can explore everything that's possible in Cyclops. When you first launch Cyclops, you'll see the iPad's camera view and a message to pan the iPad around. You should pan your device around while aimed at the ground. Cyclops will start to build a ground plane, and once Cyclops has enough data, the message will go away. This usually only takes a few seconds. At the top of the screen is the camera's focal length, device information, and the main menu. At the bottom, you have buttons to switch lenses, take photos and videos, and to access the review panel. On the left side is the tool drawer. This is where most of the tools in Cyclops can be accessed. Scroll to the side to access the various tool tabs. Each tab has a series of tools. We're going to start on the main tool tab and place an asset into the world. You select the asset you wish to place from the asset pull-down menu. Once you have made a selection, the Place Asset tool will be selected for you. Then you tap on the ground where you want to place the asset. Once an asset is placed in the world, you can see the yellow outline around it indicating that it is selected. There's information about the selected asset at the bottom of the screen. You can select assets in the scene at any time by just tapping on them. You can manipulate the selected asset using the various asset tools in the tool drawer. We'll use the drag tool to drag the asset around with our finger. You can also use the Move tool to move the asset around with a virtual joystick. The slider adjusts the speed of the movement. There are various tools to manipulate the selected asset. Many of the tools make use of the virtual slider. You can adjust the axes the tool affects by using the buttons at the bottom of the screen. Many of the tools in Cyclops will pop up a little help message when you activate them. Cyclops comes with a collection of basic assets. You can import your own custom assets as FBX or OBJ files. Additionally, we can export assets from Unreal Engine that can be loaded into Cyclops. We'll learn how to download some more sample assets later in this tutorial. Cyclops has 3 different operation modes. So far, we've been using Asset Mode. Asset Mode is good when you want to add a few CG assets to the real world. These assets can be characters, creatures, vehicles, buildings, effects, almost anything. However, when you have an entire CG scene or environment, then it is better to use Scene Mode. Scene Mode is really good when you need to have your CG scene aligned to the real world for things like set extensions and creature animation. We'll switch to Scene Mode from the main menu. When you switch modes, Cyclops reloads itself, and anything that you have placed in the world is lost. Scene Mode looks very similar to Asset Mode. However, you have additional tool tabs like bookmarks and playback available to use. To load a scene, we go to the Load tab. Use the Select a Scene drop-down to select the scene to load. For now, we'll just select the test scene, then we'll tap the Load Scene button. When you load a scene, Cyclops does a complete refresh. Our test scene is a simple little world with a handful of objects for you to explore. In Scene Mode, we now have access to the camera tools from the main menu. We can use the various camera tools to move ourselves around the scene. By default, when we open a new scene, Cyclops attempts to set the CG ground to the same height as the real ground that you are standing on. If we need to reset that height, we can use the Set Height tool. Select the tool and then tap the ground around where you are standing. Cyclops will then attempt to match the height of the CG ground to the real ground that you are standing on. You can use the Layer tab to toggle on and off the display layers in the scene. We can toggle off our CG sky layer, and now we see the live video image. In Cyclops, if there are no CG objects in an area, then we will see the live video image from our device. Additionally, you can create holdout objects that allow you to see the live video image in front of CG objects that are in the scene. There are a lot more tools and features in Cyclops to help integrate and composite your CG scene with the real world. We have additional tutorials that cover all of those features in depth. Most, but not all, assets in a loaded scene can be manipulated just like placed assets. More specifically, when a scene is exported from Unreal, individual asset details like selectability and movability can be set depending on how you plan to use the scene in Cyclops. Unselectable assets can still be selected from the Outliner panel by tapping on the name of the asset. Once selected, you can modify asset properties from the Details panel. This allows you to change asset properties like visibility, selectability, movability, and more on a per-asset basis. Just like in Asset Mode, you can place additional assets into the world using the Place Asset tool. Those assets are also listed in the Outliner, and you can adjust their properties in the asset details as well. Scenes in Cyclops can have animation in them. To play the animation, go to the Playback tab and tap the Play button. There are various tools, including a scrub bar, to control the animation playback. One last thing to mention is how you can get more sample files downloaded to Cyclops. Go to the main menu, select Help, and then select Sample Files. We have 3 sample asset files and 3 sample scene files that you can download and explore. Just tap the button and the file will start downloading. Once finished, the new sample files will be available in the Place Asset menu or the Select a Scene menu. You should now have the basics of how to use Cyclops. However, there are many more tools and features than what we have covered here. Please check out our other tutorials to learn more about all the things you can do with Cyclops.